Howdy folks, this is BelGeode, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this is a test, otherwise known as one of my chill vids. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this aircraft needs no introduction whatsoever, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Yeah, this is it, another Cowan Sim bird. Cowan Sim, we love Cowan Sim. This is the Robinson R22, as I'm sure you're no doubt aware. Recently, Cowan released the R66, its bigger sibling. And this is, of course, the baby model. This is the one that is most often used as like a trainer and so on and so forth. But that doesn't mean that's all it's good for. It's great for sightseeing and all kinds of good jazz that you want to do with a helicopter. It's just an awesome little bird. So naturally, I've got high hopes that Cowan did put the same amount of love into this bird as he did with the R66. And I do know that he is coming out with the R44, which will, of course, complete the Robbie line. So we'll have the 22, the 44, and the 66, and it is going to be awesome. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. As usual, he's got a ton of liveries, none of them purple. Cowan, come on, man. Throw a guy a bone here. Give me at least one purple livery. That's all I ask. I don't ask much. You even know my registration number, quote unquote, November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo. Hook a brother up, please. All right, but where are we today and what are we going to be doing? Well, we're in the Philippines, as promised. If you caught the last video, which I believe was the Chinook video by Miltech Simulations, I said that we were done with our Jamaica tour and we were going to head back to the Pacific. So today we are in the Philippines with another scenery mod by Clifford. That's C-L-I number 4D. I think I got that right. I think I got it right this time. Please tell me if I'm incorrect there, Mr. Clifford. I'm assuming that's what it is. But anyway, this is El Nido, and we are at the titular airport for the scenery pack, and there's not a whole heck of a lot going on here. So I don't know if I should be underwhelmed or if the real fun is to be had checking out all the various helipads that we're going to land at. And I did set it up so that we would land at like 2 or 3 different helipads. And I did kind of take a sneak peek. So it looks like most, if not all, of these helipads are going to be over water, which is going to be really challenging. Yeah, you tuned in for the shenanigans, and I do not intend to disappoint. Now, this video should be going live on the 1st of April, so I guess happy April Fool's Day to you all. But no joke, Microsoft, it has been confirmed to be showing up at Flight Sim Expo, so I'm looking forward to cornering those guys and asking them on behalf of the VR community if we are ever going to get the updates that we've been clamoring about for how many months now? Probably years. You all know the stuff that we've been looking for, so I don't need to go over it again. But I will say that to say this. If you have any specific questions that you would like either myself or Sergio from helisimmer.com or Tristan, Novawing24, in other words, the 3 grumpy simmers to ask Microsoft Flight Simulator and Asobo when we get to Flight Sim Expo in June in Vegas, let us know in the comments, or you can contact us through Facebook. We're all pretty much in the same groups and whatnot. Or even Twitter. You can reply to me on Twitter and let us know. We'll go ahead and bring our questions and concerns to the developers. And same goes for all developers. If you saw a developer on a list but you're unable to make it to Flight Sim Expo, reach out to us. Tell us what you would like them to respond to you, and we'll see if we can get answers. I plan on doing videos throughout the course of the event. I can't guarantee they will be live, but I do promise that I will post videos, either summaries of everything that happened the days that we're in Vegas, or as time permits, I'll try to do some extra videos just to kind of showcase what it's like there and so on and so forth. And then at the end of the event, we'll do our usual wrap-up, which, of course, I haven't done since like 2019, and I think Novawing actually did it on my behalf at last year's FSC. But I'm back in the saddle, so I'll be doing it this time. All right, but enough of that. Just a reminder, if you are planning on going to Flight Sim Expo, use my link. It's in the video description below, and I'll even flash the little logo on there because the FS Expo guys like when I flash their logo on there. So there you go. All right, but enough of that. I'm off the soapbox. Let's get to the Robbie, because that's what you came here for, and you want to know if it's going to be worth your time in VR. Well, TLDR, it is. You can stop watching now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't go away. Don't go away. Stay here. All right. But as is typical, I'm going to check out the external static cameras, and we will go into the cockpit. We'll follow the checklist. We'll see if I can get her started up without having any kind of brain farts, and then we'll go fly around and do some shenanigans, as I am wont to do. So, from the drone cam, we're going to go to external static cam 1. Hey, the BelGeode landing cam. See, Cowan gets me. Cowan gets me immediately. We just go straight to the BelGeode landing cam. I love it. Now, I will say that he did sacrifice the other camera that I usually put in these camera.cfg files, which is further back so you can see the entire helicopter. But you know what? I'm going to let that slide because I love having this camera. This helps with landing. Even in VR, even though the camera itself is fixed, hence the name, static external camera, you can move your head. Of course, if you have track IR, I believe it should also work the same way. You should be able to just move your head there. I don't believe you're going to be fixed unless you're on a monitor, in which case, that's on you. Now we have the second view here, which is the starboard side or the right-hand side, and you can see the little exhaust there. Really neat. I like this. That'll be good for cinematic shots. And then, of course, we have the port side view, which is always lower than the starboard side view. That's just, something that I prefer. Give you kind of a different perspective, so to speak, even if in VR your body is like halfway in the ground. But there you go. Very nicely done. Simple, straightforward, to the point. All right. Let's hop in the bird. Okay, so welcome to the office, and no doubt you will recall my lovely alternate co-pilot, Gretchen. Gretchen is back, and honestly, I'm surprised you're even still flying with me, Gretchen, after our last outing. I figured you'd have been scared witless. In any event, we're just about ready to go, so it is nice and early morning here in the Philippines. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Before we get started, let me just tell you a couple of quick things. First off, there is a manual checklist that we can look at here. There is no manual for the bird that I could see. I don't know if Cowan's working on that. He'll chime in the comments if he is. And, of course, I will pin his comment. But yeah, you do have a regular old checklist that you can look at, and that will give you everything that you need to know in order to start this bird, fly this bird, land this bird, and so on and so forth. Everything's in there. However, let's say you don't want to look at this and you want to look at the regular checklist, the in-sim checklist, that is. It's in there. I am pleased to say it's in there. It's not as complete as this, but it'll get you through the startup. The other thing, Cowan has incorporated the feature where you can change the panels, so you can see it says panel variant there. This is our basic panel, but if we click it down, if you have, I believe it's the PMS GTN system, then that'll happen. That'll change, and you can utilize that. Or, if you prefer, you can use the bigger one, which comes there. Now, I do not have like the TDS or the PMS or any of those extra add-ons. I just don't feel the need to have them. So unfortunately, we won't be able to use any of these panel setups. So we're going to go back to the basic stuff here. There we go. And we are just about set. Now, I am going to cheat a little bit. I am going to use the default VFR map, but we'll get to that after we start the bird. So first things first, we're going to need a checklist, aren't we? Checklist. There we go. Okay, so we got 3 pages. Before starting engine, engine start, and safety check. I'll probably go through the first 2 pages and we'll just kind of skim the last page. So before starting engines, we want to make sure the rotor blades are untied. Well, we can see that. Doors closed and locked, yes. Seat belts adjusted, yes. Fuel shutoff valve open. All right, now here's the thing with the fuel shutoff valve. Those of you who've flown a Robbie R22 in real life, you already know this, but for those of you who are going to be a little bit confused because this might be your first time in here, I'm going to show you where it is. So you see the nifty little eye, that tells us where it is, right? Problem is, when we look over here, we don't see anything except beautiful Gretchen. Where is our fuel valve? I'll show you. First, Gretchen, let me just invade your personal bubble here. And then we're going to slide to the left. And we're going to go back a little. And if you look right there, there's our fuel shutoff valve. So Gretchen, that is your job. You need to control that, but it's already on, so we're good to go. So we can actually just check it off. I suppose I should uncheck the previous thing about the doors being locked, since now the doors are no longer locked. There we go, problem solved. All right, flight controls, free and correct. Bam, 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 bam. You will notice that I took off the left side stick, or cyclic. That's because, well, Gretchen can't fly. She's just here for, I don't know, eye candy, I guess. Sorry, Gretchen. All right, throttle check. So the throttle controls are mapped. You can map this to an axis. You can see it on a collective there. So when we roll our control to the right, throttle moves. Roll our control back to the left, throttle closes. Good stuff. Good stuff. Collective, make sure we've got free and clear travel. Yep, collective go up, collective go down. We can look at the rotor blades, make sure that they are changing their pitch. Yep, they most certainly are. Good to go. And of course, the pedals, the anti-torque pedals. Okay, make sure those are neutral. Good, good, good. Rotor brake, the important part, the thing that I always forget. Make sure it's disengaged. This position means it's engaged. You need to put it to the bottom position, or I guess technically that would be the up position, but now it is disengaged, so your rotors should be able to swing free and clear. Just overhead sub-panel lighting we don't need. Breakers are all underneath lovely Gretchen there, and they're fine. Anti-ice is off. Mixture is rich. Now your mixture knob is right here. You're going to push that down, and then you're going to use this little white cover and just lock it in place there. So that is good to go. Primer, make sure the primer is down. This is your primer here underneath your seat. It's already in a down position. And we're going to leave that as is. Landing light is off. Landing light is, of course, on the base of the cyclic, I believe. No, that's yoke visibility. That's landing lights. So yeah, good stuff so far. Avionics master switch, I'll be honest, I couldn't find an avionics master switch, but suffice to say, when you turn the batteries on, everything comes on. So even if we click the little eye, you'll notice there's no eye icon around here. So I have no idea if there actually is an avionics master switch on this. Clutch disengaged, that's the big red covered switch here. As long as this is up, your clutch is disengaged, which is perfect. Altimeter setting, no need, it's 29.902. I always fly on custom weather. I don't use live weather. Something about using the live weather servers and whatnot tends to lag the sim, which is not conducive to recording, so I come up with custom weather. All right, let's get this bird started. So, rotor blades, clear, yes. Prime, as required. This is a cold engine, so we want to prime it like 3 times. So, we're going to just click on the little primer here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Throttle is currently closed. Yes, battery switch is on. Now, I will remind you, when I flip my battery switch on my Virpil, it also flips on the alternator, which we really shouldn't have the alternator on right now, but I don't feel like changing it. Strobe lights on. Okay. Strobe is on. That is the second switch from the left. I also turn on the nav lights when I do that. I just like having them on. Fuel quantity check. Fuel quantity is smack there in the center. We've got about 70% gas, so we're good. Area is clear, and ignition to start. Ignition is a lovely little key right there, which I have on a nifty knob on my Virpil. Hey, started the first time. I love it when a plan comes together. Annunciation starter check off. Okay, that's all good. Engine RPM should go to about 50 to 60%. You can see our RPM right there. The engine is on the left, the rotor is on the right, and we're just waiting for that to come up just a touch here. What I can do is I can just kind of roll the throttle a little bit, and that will get it back to where it should be. So yeah, right about there is good. All right, and at this point is when we're going to engage the clutch and make the magic happen. So all we need to do is just close this switch, give it a second, and it will start rotating the rotors. So you'll notice that the RPM will come down a bit. That's fine. That's to be expected in this type of a helicopter where you have a separate clutch. Check the oil pressure is increasing. Yeah, it looks like it is. Oil pressure's in the green, so we're good. Oil temperature looks good. Cylinder head temperature looks good. Okay. Alternator on, we already did that. Master switch, there is none that I could see. Altimeter setting is fine. Make sure the clutch light goes off. It is not off. It is off now. Perfect. So far, so good. And then we want to get our rotation up to 70-75%. So that means we're going to start raising the throttle, or at least rotating it. Now this is kind of weird because I have it set up on an axis. I'm not 100% sure that the axis is working right. But suffice to say, if I bring it up to about half its regular roll, the roll of course being the full limit of the knob that I'm rotating here, it should put it right about where we want it. You can see it's actually going a little higher than I would like. So what we can do at this point is engage the governor, and that'll bring it down to where it should be. So there you go. That's it. That's all we need to do. We're good to go. We are good to go. Safety check. Engine gauges, check. We checked them again. Yes, they all look pretty good to me. We're not going to do a magneto test, so we'll leave that alone. RPM drop on the carburetor heat. We don't have the carburetor heat off. We're in the tropics. We won't need it. Doors are closed and locked. Lift collective slightly. Check for low RPM horn. There shouldn't be a low RPM horn because we're already at our flight idle. Governor is on. NR is stabilized. Area is clear. Engine gauge is checked again. Okay. So now we're ready to fly. And as promised, I'm going to cheat using this. So here we go. Alright, so here's the plan, man. First, I'm going to move this out of the way so that way I can see clearly. And this is our flight plan. So you can see we've got USR1 as our first waypoint. That's presumably a helipad on a tropical island with a resort. And we have RP-71, which ironically is also a helipad at a tropical resort. If we zoom out a little bit more, you've got RP-72, which is, you guessed it, another helipad at a resort. And then finally RP-70, and I will leave you to guess exactly what our destination is. Yeah. All right, but we're good to go, so let me get on the Unicom here. And we'll announce that we're taxiing.
Romeo Papa Echo November Traffic Helicopter November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo is taxiing to runway tree.
Okay, good deal. All right, so this helicopter likes to rotate a little left and a little forward, so you're going to want to add some pedal in. Or actually, I mean rotate to the right, yaw to the right, I should say. So when we increase collective, she gets light on the skids. And you can see she wants to roll left, but she wants to yaw right, and she wants to push herself forward. So we're just going to get her in a good place here. You do, of course, have rotor trim controls that you can engage, and I will once we're flying. But for right now, we just want to make sure she behaves herself while we're on the tarmac, as it were. All right, let's head over to the edge of the runway here, and we'll go to the outside view for that. Okay, so here we go. We are at runway 33. We are good to go, and I'm going to go ahead and set our transponder to alt. There we go. And I think we're pretty much set, so I'm just making one more cursory glance for everything here just to make sure everything's good. All the lights are extinguished, which is wonderful. Okay, let's get our landing lights on. There we go. Alright, we'll keep that on for the duration of the flight for like safety reasons and stuff. You know how it goes. Okay, Gretchen, are you ready? Because I'm ready. Let's go. We should probably tell them we're taking off too. Departing straight out.
Romeo Papa Echo November traffic helicopter November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo. Taking off runway tree straight out departure.
Alright, let's go. No brakes down, throttles up this time, but we are going to do collective up and pedal down. Just a little pedal. It's a helicopter, so you know the golden rule, fingertip movements. You can add trim while you're taking off there, just to kind of get her into that effective translational lift there. You can see our airspeed's coming up. But be careful, because the trim on this thing is somewhat sensitive, so you may find yourself redlining in speed in short order. So even though you want to keep your head out of the cockpit and checking out your surroundings, every now and then just kind of glance at your airspeed indicator just to make sure you're not going crazy. That's a funny place to park, buddy. Alright, we're good to go, so I am going to ease back the pressure on the cyclic here and see if I can get us to our magenta line. And we'll check out the resort and the scenery that is available to us. Oh, I love it. If there's one thing to be said about Clifford's sceneries, they are absolutely majestic. Let's check out this little town here. Look at that. We've got a full road. We got these imposing cliffs behind it, a yacht, and what I assume would be our helipad right there. Just amazing stuff. Now, it does dip my FPS a little bit, but then to be fair, I haven't restarted this PC in a couple of days, and I do notice that if I go flight simming after having not restarted my PC, sometimes it'll do that, where it'll just arbitrarily rob me of FPS. I have no idea what causes that, but something to consider. It's just something that I've noticed, I guess. But yeah, this is amazing stuff. This is really cool stuff. I love it when he comes out with a scenery. And of course, he always teases us on Facebook in particular. If you follow Clifford on Facebook, you get to see some of the buildings that he's working on. And it's always so cool to see how he comes up with the architecture. I've made it no secret, I am a huge fan of architecture. It was my major, my initial major in college, so there's still a soft spot in my heart for that. But I gotta say, when I look at scenery such as this, it actually reminds me of Arma 3. You know, the island of Tanoa, where we started our Voodoo Squad series that unfortunately I will not be continuing because I just don't have time. But yeah, that's what this reminds me of. This reminds me of Tanoa. Alright, we're getting off the beaten path here, so let's go ahead and see if we can make it back to the purple line. Look at that. Little houses just placed in the middle of nowhere. That's so awesome. And I have no doubt that's probably the kind of stuff you would find there in real life, too. I love stuff like that. Alright, let me see if I can trim her out. So we're going to rotor trim forward. And she wants to roll left, so we're going to add a bit of right rotor trim. Yeah, that looks good. That feels good. We'll trim us forward just a touch here. How are we doing on altitude? A little over 300 feet. About 350-ish. I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that. But yeah, this is awesome. Needless to say, this is one of the easiest helicopters to fly. However, it is pretty squirrely. So if you're not used to helicopters, just be prepared. It can catch you out. It is very sensitive. But that's okay. It's supposed to be. That's one of the beauties of this helicopter is you can do a lot with it, even though it's just, for all intents and purposes, a basic helicopter. It's so much fun, though. It's absolutely so much fun. I'd love to be able to fly one of these in real life. I don't know if I'll get the chance in Vegas, but yeah, it's certainly on the bucket list of things that I would like to do. All right, let's quickly go to the outside view as we make our way to our first set of islands here, and then we're going to have to hunt down the helipad and figure out where we're going to land. You know what I was trying to do there, right? Yeah, I was trying to get the money shot. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get the money shot, especially since helicopters have zero autopilot and you got to practically trim everything out just to try and get the helicopter to stay put while you go into drone cam, which, if you didn't know, drone cam disables your controls. So you have no control over the helicopter. And to make matters worse, my stick is set as basically the camera movement control. So when you see me moving the camera like that, I'm actually just moving my stick. So it kind of compounds the issue where we can't actually control the helicopter. But you know what? Let's try it again. Real quick. Real quick. Yeah, you can see what I mean there, right? Okay, we did pass our island, so we're going to head back this way. The other thing I like about this, every now and then you'll run across boats that are actually moving. And that's pretty neat. I think all of these here are static, but every now and then we'll kind of run across some of the other ones that are actually moving. I, however, am just looking for helipads. If we don't find any here, that's fine. We'll just move on to the next place. But I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't actually go around the island and search for a helipad. That might be one. There is a floating rock above it, though, so that might be a little bit dangerous for us. I'm going to swing around here real quick. There's a couple of floating rocks there, Clifford. What's up with that? May want to take a look at that. Not quite sure those things are meant to be floating like 100 feet up in the air. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But other than that, it's a really good scenery. And this is the kind of stuff that I think we need to see more of. in Microsoft Flight Simulator, at least for us helicopter lovers, because let's face it, who wouldn't want to go adventuring in this area and just like, you know, check out all these various places, these little hole-in-the-wall places that otherwise we might never know about. That's what makes this kind of stuff cool. Alright, but I am not seeing a helipad, so we're going to continue on to our next location. I'm fairly certain there's going to be both a helipad and a resort at our next location. And I should probably zoom out the VFR map really quick, so... Okay, there we go. So we need to be heading almost due north, really. Not a problem. We can do this. We can do this. And now I think I put a little too much right trim in, so I got to take some of that out. There we go. And we should be good to go. Alright, so coming up ahead, I believe, is our next stop. So I am going to actually bring the collective down a little bit, so that way we can lose some altitude. You can see we're already at 600 feet. So, yeah. And I'm probably going to want to hit the rotor trim reset as well, which is going to cause the nose to go up. See, what did I tell you? So now I've actually got to control the cyclic and collective more judiciously here, just to make sure that we know what we're doing. Oh, and if you look real close, there's actually dolphins in this scenery. Alright, so far I don't see any dolphins, but I do see our helipad. It's off to the left side here. So we're just going to roll up. Oh, wait. No, I think I see a dolphin. Hold on, hold on. Let me see if I can hover here. Where'd he go? I know he's down there. There he is. Oh, we just caught sight of him. That's so cool. I love stuff like that. It's those little flavor things that just make the scenery worth it. Alright, let's see if we can bring her down on this puppy. I'm not going to go to the outside view for that, because I know some of you don't like when I do that. But we'll see if we can do it with skill here. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Pull it back a touch. Alright, so this is the only weird anomaly that I've noticed. And Clifford, if you are watching this, you may want to look at this and see what can be done. I don't know if this is a settings thing with my Microsoft Flight Simulator, or if this is actually something with the scenery. But even if we go to the outside view, which we're going to do to check out this little resort area, you can see it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed our little virtual tour there. Pretty nice little place. This is the kind of place that I would love to be able to visit in real life, and yeah, I would totally bring a Robbie in here. As I've already shown you, I can definitely pull off a landing. All right, but here we go. Collective up. And a little bit of left pedal in. Just a little. And here we go. We'll go past Towel Girl and we'll head out of here. That's so awesome. I love it. Alright, let's gain a little bit of altitude here, and then we'll start making our way to our next location. So it looks like we're going to need to make a right here. Or excuse me, a left. Yeah, because we're pretty much going the opposite way to where we should go. Model just kind of got a little messed up there, but I noticed that maybe there's something wrong with the LOD. I don't know if Clifford wants to take a look at that, or if there's an update coming for it. Or, like I said, it could just be my Microsoft Flight Simulator settings, and I think it's probably more that than anything else. But suffice to say, I really do enjoy this scenery. Hey, look at that! There's a whale! Hold up. Is it going to come up again? There it is, breaching. That's too cool. Needs a little more splashes, though, when it comes down. If that's the only thing I can think of to critique for this scenery, I would say, Clifford, you done did good. Alright, let's see. RP-72 is our next stop, and it should be technically directly ahead. So to ease some of the... Uh-oh, birds. Ease some of the cyclic activity here, I'm going to rotor trim us forward a slight bit, and rotor trim us right a slight bit. Give ourselves a little bit of collective. There we go, and look at our airspeed. All of a sudden, we are way up there, so I need to watch it. Okay, but our next stop is going to be directly ahead, I believe, or slightly to the right. I want to say it's close to that fat part of the island behind that yacht. I'm thinking that's where it is. We'll look for another one of those helipads real quick, and that should at least give us an idea where we need to come in. In the meantime, I'm going to lower the collective a bit because I don't want us to redline our speed, especially when we've got a massive island in front of us. Yeah, there's no cumulogranitus today, just straight up granitus. Alright, but let's go back to the outside view. We'll check out the scenery, see if we can find our helipad, and then we'll turn around and come in. You like that one, huh? See, I can land it from the outside. Alright, so let's check out this resort really quick. And then we'll hop back in the bird and we'll head to our third stop, which actually I think should be our last stop, if I'm not too mistaken. Hold on, let me zoom it out. Yes, most definitely. RP-70. So we came from USR-1, where we did not land, RP-71, where we just landed, and now we're at RP-72 and heading to RP-70. So yeah, short trip, but I've only scratched the surface on what this scenery pack has to offer. Anyway, let's check out what they do have to offer from the outside. Normally I don't like to talk during this part because it's just supposed to be like a cinematic montage or something, but I like doing stuff like this. This is part of the reason why I enjoy being in VR, setting myself at the proper scale for a human. Of course, that scale is going to get thrown off right now because I'm flying around. But just checking out the scenery and looking at it the way that I would if I were actually walking around on foot. Now, what is going on over here? Oh boy. What we got here? Samantha and Shaniqua. Shaniqua's on her phone. Oh, what's happening in here? Oh boy. I'm not so sure about this resort. I think the service here is probably non-existent. Maybe that's why Shaniqua's on her phone. She's like, I need to speak to the manager. Hello, management? Listen, I need to lodge a complaint. Y'all got weeds growing up on this deck. And where the bartender at? I can't get my mimosa. That's totally what Shaniqua is saying right now. Apologies to anybody in the audience named Shaniqua who happens to be watching this. That is offensive. I can't help it. Sometimes I'm just stupid. All right, but I think we're done. Let's head back to the helicopter. And we'll begin our last leg to our final destination here. I would try landing on these yachts, but I don't really want to. I more want to check out the scenery itself because that's really what drew me here. All right, back to the outside view we go, and let's take off. I sure hope Shaniqua is able to get customer service on the line because it don't look like anybody's around here except her and Samantha. Samantha looks like she's okay with accepting it, but Shaniqua, not so much. I thought I saw another dolphin too. Oh well. Alright, so we need to go pretty much to the east. I tell you what, let's fly over this large ship, this large vessel. We'll figure out what it is, and then we will make our way to our final stop here. Alright, magenta line has updated, which is just what I wanted to see. So yeah, as you've no doubt seen, this helicopter is really easy to fly. Just like all helicopters, of course, you want to make sure you're doing your fingertip movements and you want to kind of anticipate what she's going to do. But if you're new to helicopters, after trying out the default Microsoft Asobo helicopters, I would highly recommend you pick up something like this and just keep practicing with it. Eventually, you'll be pretty smooth. You may notice even I still wobble, and I've been flying virtual helicopters for years. I have zero experience in real-life helicopters, so I can't judge it from that angle. But everything that I've experienced in VR virtually, it just feels perfect. There's really no other way to put it. It feels perfect. I suppose there's a helipad on this thing. Probably not. Okay, well, we're going to move on then. And even though this is a Robbie, and a Robbie is most definitely not an acrobatic aircraft, you can actually do shenanigans with this. I'm not even kidding. You can totally do shenanigans with this. Do I recommend it? No, absolutely not. Definitely do not recommend you do shenanigans with this helicopter. But can you? You can, if you're cautious about it. So I'm really lifting the collective here, and you may notice we're gaining a lot of altitude. We're almost up to 700 feet right now. Why? Well, maybe I want to do some shenanigans with you. I feel like I should flash the little disclaimer on the screen right now. Kids, don't try this at home. Please, whatever you do, don't try this at home. All right, what are we at? 1,000? Okay, we need a little bit more airspeed here. Now the governor is on, so that should be our safety net, in theory. In theory. Can't guarantee it, however. So we're going to get a bit of airspeed here. Yep. Looking good, looking good. About 1,000 feet, and here we go. Really quick, really quick. dropping the collective a bit. And ho, look at that. A little bit of low RPM warning, but that's why I dropped the collective a little bit here, just so we don't overspeed. But yeah, you just watched that. I just did a loop in a Robbie R22. Yeah, I know. This is why you tune in for the channel. Shenanigans, that's the name of the game. I'm not here to teach you anything. I don't claim to be a professional real-life pilot or anything like that. I just love flying virtually. I love flying in VR, and I love doing shenanigans. I'm sure there's probably a couple of you who just broke a blood vessel in there after seeing those shenanigans. Like, what the hell is he doing? How dare he? I'm offended. I'm with Shaniqua. Yeah, well, you're really going to love this now. Yeah, I just did that. I just did that. Now what? That's what it's all about, folks. Try not to take it too seriously. It's flight sim. You're supposed to have fun. That's what it's all about. Having fun. And overspeeding. Lots of overspeeding. I'm dropping the collective all the way here before I really break this bird. I'm sure there's probably a couple of you out there like, oh, this helicopter's not realistic. You can do that. You can't do that. Well, I'm not going to say if it is or if it isn't realistic. I'm just telling you that I just did that. So there you go. Take that for what it's worth. It is me, however, and like I said, that's kind of the hallmark of this channel. It's always been, I like doing shenanigans. I'm pretty sure Cowan just busted a blood vessel. What are you doing with my helicopter? Sorry, Josh. Now I owe you 2 drinks when we get to Vegas. But overall, I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at the Robinson R22, the Robbie. And Gretchen, do you still have your lunch in your stomach? I really should have asked you first because you're probably most affected by all of my ridiculousness. There's our helipad off to the left. So we're going to bring her in and we're going to say goodbye. And a huge thank you to Clifford. Everything that I'm showcasing today, I did purchase. So Clifford's scenery, I purchased it, as well as this Robinson R22. So you're getting my unbiased opinion here. And I gotta say, I absolutely love the work that both of these developers have put into their product. It is clear that there is a lot of passion and love involved with both the scenery and the helicopter, and this is why these are 2 of the best developers out there right now. And I highly recommend you pick up both products. That's a ringing endorsement right there. Alright, let's bring her in. Hey, a little bit wobbly, but considering everything we've been through, I'd say we're okay. So yeah, just to remind you, the helicopter that we've been showing off has been the latest bird by Cowan Simulations, the Robinson R22, the Robbie. Absolutely beautiful bird, does exactly what you expect it to do and more if you're like me. Totally worth picking up, whether you're new to helicopters or a seasoned veteran. Highly, highly recommend it. Can't recommend it higher. It's just awesome. And of course, the scenery that we've been showing off has been El Nido, which is by Clifford, and it adds to his previous Philippines scenery that he has made. He also has a Bora Bora scenery out there that I have not showed on the channel. It's debatable as to whether or not I'll show it, because I think we're going back to Papua New Guinea in the next video. But suffice to say, everything that Clifford makes is really, really cool. Definitely recommend you pick it up. And another reminder, if you are planning on going to FSE, Flight Sim Expo in Vegas, it will be at the Rio Hotel and Casino, June 21st through 23rd. You might notice I've been hyping it out a lot. I am definitely going to be there, but I can't guarantee that I'll be at any future ones, because I'm still a hermit. And as much as I'm looking forward to it, I'm kind of also dreading leaving the house. So if you do meet me there, then go easy on me, please. And if you're planning on going and have not yet gotten your tickets, use my link in the video description below. Alrighty, folks, so that is just about going to do it for me. So I am going to turn this puppy off. or at least lower our RPM here. Make it a little bit quieter so I can say my goodbyes. We won't turn it off completely because we know what happens when that happens. One of those bugs that I want to talk to Microsoft and Asobo about, because they said in one of their live streams that they can't replicate this bug. Yeah. Do I need to show you the bug? Because I'm going to show you the bug. Alright, clutch is off. And all we need to do is just turn off our helicopter here. So doors open. There you go, Gretchen. Run. Be free. Quickly, get away before I do more stupidity with this thing. And we'll turn off the ignition. Now, watch what happens. I'm sitting perfectly still. If I turn off the ignition, is it going to do it? Probably not. Not until I turn off the battery, too. And make sure I turn off my lights first while I'm at it. See? Look at that. You saw what it did there, right? Just for a quick second, it flashed, and now it's put me a little further forward than I was actually sitting. That's what I'm talking about, Asobo. I don't understand how you can't replicate that. But suffice to say, yeah, that's something that we're going to talk about when I run into you in Vegas. Unless, of course, you run away from me. I'd be more afraid of Sergio, to be honest with you. I'll go easy on you. Sergio won't. Alrighty, folks. Thanks again for watching. This has been BelGeode. I have been flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This has been the Robbie R22 at El Nido in the Philippines. So, if you enjoy what you've seen, please feel free to give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will catch you next time as we return to our beloved Papua New Guinea. Alrighty, folks. Talk to you soon. Ciao.